Oh, I don't think Chinwe gave a sad reaction face. What happened? You didn't have a good day? All right. All right. So today's session is going to be a very interesting one, especially for project managers. Okay. All right. But before then, I would love to know you guys. I would love to get to know you. Before I introduce myself, kindly introduce yourself in the chat. Tell me your name, where you're joining us from, and the career path you're interested in. I would likely assume every one of you here are interested in project management, but that's not possible. That's why I would love to know which career path you're interested in. You can tell me in the chat. I'll be looking at the chat. So just tell me your name. I can see Michael. You can just put Michael, UK, and maybe project management. Just follow that route. Okay. All right. So today we're going to be talking about something very, very interesting, how to land a project management job in 2025. I mean, we're not here to teach you project management. We're here to show you practical steps and what is necessary for you to land a job in PM in 2025. Okay, so I'm just going to look at the chat. I see Dabiri. Okay, welcome, Dabiri. Welcome to the session. We have Klaus. Klaus is from UK and he's interested in project management. Hi, Klaus. Nice to have you here. We have Michael from Sierra Leone. Okay, welcome to the session, Michael. And Dabiri. Dabiri is also interested in project management. And I don't know if that's a he or she, but the person is in the UK. Welcome to the session. I'm still expecting the rest of you. Francis is also in the UK, interested in project management. Lovely. We have a lot of project management, a lot of project managers in the house. Okay. We have Chidubem. Chidubem is also in the UK and is interested in project management, specifically in the engineering sector. Interesting. All right. All right. All right. So it's a pleasure meeting you guys. It's a pleasure having these sessions and talking to you all. Let's proceed. Let's just proceed from here. All right. So while the rest of you are introducing yourself, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what we are going to be talking about today. So in today's session, you're going to understand why most project management managers don't get hired, why most project candidates don't get hired. You know, it's one thing for you to learn the skill, you know how to use Trello, you know how to use all those tools, but at the end of the day, you want to land a job. And today you're going to understand why it is hard for you to land that job. And you'd also get to know what exactly hiring managers are looking for in 2025. So if you're interested in project management, today's session is going to expose you to what HR recruiters, what they want. Okay. So once you understand what they want, you can now fit in and fix up your learning to fit what they want so that you're not doing it blindly. Okay. And also you get to learn about Amdari's work experience internship. And finally, we have a special offer for you. So if you want to get to learn about this offer, you have to stay to the end of this session to listen to that. Okay. All right, for those of you joining, welcome to Amdari. Welcome to the session. Before I even go ahead, if this is your first session with Amdari, give me a thumbs up. You've never had a session with Amdari before. This is your first time being on a call like this with Amdari. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, great, 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 great. All right, Salem, Tarinabo. Okay, Judith. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, if you're just joining us, like every other person is doing, just tell me in the chat your name, where you're joining us from, and the career path you're interested in. Okay. Now, I would also love for you guys to fill the attendance form. It's very important. I'm going to drop that. It's very important that you fill the attendance form because we'll be sharing a lot of strategies and tips here. So if you want to go back and watch this session, or you want to just get whatever materials we'll be sharing today, you have to fill the attendance form. Okay. It's very, very important. All right. So that's the scope of what we have for you today. So while you guys are introducing yourself, it will be unfair of me not to introduce myself. So I am Victory Brown, brown as in brown color, yes. And I'm a data-driven growth strategist. So in summary, if you're looking to transition seamlessly into the tech space, I can guide you through that. through expert career advice. So in the course of today's session, a lot of you would have a lot of questions. Maybe you're stuck in your career path, you want to transition, you're looking for the best way to do it, or maybe you don't even know how to go about it. You get to ask your question in today's session, and you will be provided career advice. Okay, so I'm just going to mute this person. All right.
V, you're muted.
Oh, I've been muted. Has it been a while?
No.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. So let's get into what we have for you today. How many of you guys on this session? I see a lot of project managers here. If you've gotten your certificates, tell me, just give me a thumbs up. You have a certificate already. Maybe your PMP, your Scrum certificate, Scrum Master certificate, or your CAMP. You can tell me which one you have in the chat. Just tell me. I am asking this question because we're going to be talking about something very sensitive today, right? Very, very sensitive. So if you're a project manager and you're certified, right? You're certified. Just tell me, give me a thumbs up if you are. I see some people's hands up. I'll take that as maybe you guys are actually certified. So now, okay, Francis just raised his hand up. He's certified. Daniela is certified. Great. And congratulations on your certifications. So you might be asking yourself a very, very important question. You've gotten the certification. I mean, when you did your research to go into project management, they told you that, oh, you need to get certified. It will be easier for you to land a job if you're certified. And you went ahead to take the certification, but it's still looking like it's hard for you to land that job. You might now you would now be worried, what's the next thing I should do? I've gotten the certificate. What is important? What's next? Why don't I have a job? Right? You're asking yourself that question. Another reason might be that maybe the job offers you're getting, they're telling you, they're rejecting you because you don't have the experience for it. You just have the certificates. And another major reason is that entry-level roles, you see some entry-level roles and they're telling you, oh, must have at least 1-2 years of experience for entry-level roles. So with all this, these are obstacles, right? Your certificate is not helping you to pass through all these obstacles. Does that mean that your certificate is useless? That's what we are going to be talking about today. Now, your certificate is not useless. Don't be scared. In fact, it's also like validation. But at the end of the day, your certificate is not everything. It's not enough, right? Especially if you want to land a job as a PM in today's job market. Certificate is not going to, if you want to rely on a certificate, you're going to be job searching for a very long time, because you're not the only one that has certificates. You're not the only one that has gone through a boot camp. You're not the only one that has gone through training. There are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of PMs just like you that are looking for their first role. So what exactly is going to help you stand out from these other guys? That's what you should be thinking of, right? Instead of thinking of the next tool to learn or the next certification to get, why don't you think of what is going to make you stand out from the next PM? Okay, so that's part of what we are going to be talking about today. So what exactly do hiring managers want in 2025? Now, if you've actually done your training in PM, you've learned how to use these tools, Trello and Jira, the rest of these management tools and all of that, you understand that training alone, like during your training, you were just learning tools. You never had the opportunity to apply what you've learned in an actual environment. And trust me, project management is a very practical field, right? Yes, it is a very practical field, because if you've not actually done something as a project manager, or you've never worked in the capacity of a project manager before, you are going to struggle. And that's the truth. So the major reason you're not even getting that feedback from interviews, maybe you're not even landing the interviews in the first place, is because you don't have experience. It is as simple as that. Project management is a very practical field, because you can't just memorize how to be a project manager. You need to work and manage a project to call yourself a project manager. As the name entails, project manager. You have to do it. If you don't do it, if you've not done it before, it's going to be hard for you to act. Even on a personal level, you won't even have that confidence that am I really good enough for this stuff? If I get a job tomorrow, will I be able to deliver? Now, let's take the focus away from you for like a second. Take it away from me. I want you guys to put yourselves in the recruiter's shoes. Put yourself in the hiring manager's shoes, right? Let's take a very typical example. You let's say you have a wedding next week, right? And you're a guest for the wedding. You want to get a dress. You want to get a dress sewn, right? And you have two people. You have two seamstresses or seamstress, whatever. You have two of them. The first one has it on paper. They have the certificate. They've gone to a very nice school, a very top-notch school, as to learn how to be a seamstress, right? And you have the second person. This person has actually worked on dresses, and they can literally show you a catalog to pick from, right? Even if you have your style, they can always show you, oh, I've worked on something similar before. Just take a look at it. Who would you go for? I want you guys to tell me in the chat. Who would you have more confidence to go for? Mind you, tailoring job is very practical. You can't use hearsay to give your clothes out, right? It's a very practical thing. So who would you go for? Would you go for the first person or the second person? If you go for person one, just say one in the chat. If you're going for number two, tell me two. The first person has it on paper. They are good at what they do, but they've never actually sewn a dress before. And you have the second person that has actually sewn something and they can show you what they've worked on. Who would you feel more confident to go for? I can see answers in the chat. Femena says one. Modu says two. AB says two. Akudu says two. Akudu says two again. John is saying two. Now, logically, on a very logical sense, you understand why you go for the second person. You going for him, you have that confidence that, I mean, if this person has shown me what they've done already, that means they can deliver on my dress. You have that confidence. But the first person, you'll be skeptical because, I mean, they can't show you proof that they know what they are doing. They only have the certificates. Now, I want you to translate the same experience to tech, right? Translate it into the tech job market, right? Recruiters and hiring managers, they are hesitant to give you that job because they are scared that you won't be able to deliver results. If you do not have experience, there is no way to prove that you are good at what you do. It's as simple as that. And especially with project management, because you cannot use your certificates to prove that you are a project manager. You need the experience to prove it. And this experience for project managers is deep, right? You can't call yourself a project manager yet if you've never handled end-to-end a project life cycle. You've never done it before. Maybe you've read about it, but on your own, you've not done it. You've not been involved in that process before. You can't confidently call yourself a project manager. And even if you do, when you get to the interview and you're asked, oh, tell us a time you managed an end-to-end project life cycle. What did you do? How did you go about it? You will be stuck there because you've not done it before. You think you can do it because you've probably watched YouTube videos or you've learned or you've read about it somewhere, but you've not done it before. You've never worked with a cross-functional team. You don't know how to communicate with stakeholders. You are not so familiar with these tools because even the tools for project management require you to have to work on it with a team of people. Do you guys, if you're tracking, if you're following me, just give me a thumbs up. If you understand what I am saying, just give me a thumbs up. I want to be sure that you guys are really getting this thing. So you can't confidently call yourself a project manager if you've not worked with a team before. Your written and your verbal communication is bad, and even from the interview, the recruiter can sense that you do not have it. Like they can just tell that, oh, this person has not actually done this thing before. Because when you are communicating, there is how you communicate with confidence when you are talking about something you've done before. So what do hiring managers actually want in 2025? They want to be sure that you've actually conducted an end-to-end project lifecycle before. That's what they want. They want to be sure that you can communicate with stakeholders, because Project management requires a lot of communication. A lot of effective communication and management, because you're going to be working with, sometimes you work with a cross-functional team, if not most times you're working with the stakeholders, you're working with the developers, depending on what is required. You are working with data analysts, you can be working with a cross-functional team of people. You're trying to see if everybody's hands is on deck. You're managing them, you're managing people. If you don't know how to manage people, you've never done it before, you will not be able to do it confidently when you land a job. That is why experience is very important. They want to be sure that you have confidence under pressure, because trust me, there would be times that you would be under pressure, especially with some deadlines. You would be under pressure to deliver. Maybe a stakeholder requires you to, like, you have a deadline, you have something you need to deliver within a stipulated period of time. Anything could come up, and you know you're working with other people. You can be able to manage your own time, but you can't manage another person's time. So you need to have that confidence under pressure to be able to manage everything you have together. And it's only experience that can give you this. You need to be familiar with your tools. You need to be familiar with your tools. For the project managers, can you just tell me in the chat, what are the tools that you work with on a day-to-day, or what are tools you're familiar with? Just tell me. I'll be looking at that in the chat. Tell me your tools, right? Your go-to tools. I'll be looking at that. You need to also be familiar with team workflows, right? You're not just learning about yourself and what you do. You have to understand the workflow of what a data analyst would also do. That doesn't mean you should go and learn data analysis. To an extent, you might have to learn it. It's also part of what you might actually be required to do. But you need to understand on a fundamental level what other career paths do. What other, maybe the web designer, web developer, what are they supposed to do? How is a website supposed to look like? How is a landing page supposed to look like? If you do not know this thing, trust me, when the time comes and you're managing a project, you have the web designer, you have the web developer, you would be lost. You won't even know when something is out of place, because you don't even know what these guys are supposed to do. So let me check the chat. I am seeing, okay, you guys are telling me what I see. Basecamp and Trello. Okay, great. Modu is great with MS Project. Okay, lovely. Div is great with Jira. Efemena is Jira. Daniela, Azure DevOps. Okay. John, MS Projects. I've seen 2 MS Projects now. Daniela, Smartsheet. John, Azure DevOps. Great. Great. You guys know your tools. Well done. So you also need to be excellent. You see, I wrote excellent because it is very important. Excellent with written and verbal communication. As a project manager, you will do a lot of documentation. If you do not know that, know it today. And if you do not know how to write, you don't know how to document, you don't know how to use Microsoft Documents, you don't know how to use these different important, communication tools, you are going to struggle. You don't know how to communicate, talk. It's not just the regular talking that maybe you're talking with your colleague or you're talking with, no, how to communicate effectively. Very important. So these are like the highlights of what is expected of you in 2025 of project managers. If you're a project manager, this is literally the baseline. This is not everything yet. We are going to go deeper into this, but for the baseline, this is what is expected of you. So I want you to do a personal evaluation. We have 5 points here. If you check all 5 points, give me 5, or you do 5/5, 5/5. If you have 4, you do 4/5. If you have 2, you do 2/5. I want to see that in the chat. I want you to score yourself. Now, you need to be very honest with yourself. That's where everything starts from. You need to be honest with yourself. Where are you at the moment? Because once you are honest with yourself, you will be able to know the next action to take to get to the next step, right? So John gives himself a 2. I appreciate your honesty. Div gives himself a 4. Great, congratulations. Francis, 2/5. Daniela, 3. Modu, 3. Great. You guys, I love the energy, right? Really nice. Sayo is giving himself a 2. Kenneth, 2. Dabiri, 2. Great. Now, don't be scared. Don't feel challenged if you're not up to a 5 yet. That's where learning comes in. Everybody learns every day. We are open to learning. So let's keep moving forward, right? We'll see how to take your 2 to a 10, right? We'll see how to do that. Now, I want us to analyze a typical project management job posting. If you are using your phone, you might want to zoom in. If you're using your laptop, you might also want to zoom in. Apologies, but we need to look at this, right? Because I believe sometimes people are so what's the word? Like, you're so wishful. Like, the wishful thinking in tech is too much. I want you guys to be strategic about stuff. Reverse engineer the process. If you understand what these guys want, then fit in your learning to match what they are looking for. Don't go by hearsay, go by facts. I love facts. I love knowing exactly what is this thing they want. Let me do what they want instead of me to beat around the bush, right? So let's look at a typical job posting, and then you now understand what they really want of you, right? So now, what is your main responsibility as a project manager? I would have just gone on Google to go and search this thing, or I'll use ChatGPT to search it and come and give it to you. But I said no. I want you guys to see for yourself what is required. Typical means that out of 5 job postings, most of what you see here will be repeating itself. And I took one that repeated itself the most. Okay. So, what are your main responsibilities? You will ensure that project is managed and governed in adherence to a framework. Now, this particular company, they have a framework they follow, so that's why they specified on that. But I want you guys to look at project is managed. So as a project manager, you are managing a project. I am just emphasizing that. You might be asking me, why are you emphasizing this? Is it not what's the word? Isn't it logical that a project manager should be managing projects? Why I'm emphasizing this is because a lot of you go and chase after certification. They are not hiring you to be like, they're not hiring you for your certification, they're hiring you to be a project manager. So why not learn to manage projects, right? Now, they said that ensure that the project produces a result capable of achieving the benefits defined in the business case. All that English there means that you should be solving the business problem. It means that you should be able to deliver results. If you've not done this before and you're interviewed for this role, when they're asking you questions, they will ask you a question around that. Tell us a time you were able to, solve a business challenge as a project manager. How were you able to effectively deliver results? Like, these are the practical questions they are going to ask you, because project management is a very practical field. It's a very practical field, right? So these are the kind of things they'll be asking you. Now, the third one, they're saying day-to-day project management and controlled activities by coordinating others to undertake their work, as well as contributing to the delivery of tasks, right? This means you're managing other people. You are literally going to be managing other people. And the tools that you'll be using for this, you use Trello, for those of you that are more conversant with Trello, or you use Asana, depending, on Jira. These are management tools, right? And you need to have the skill. Being able to manage people is a skill. People have different, should I say, characteristics. People have different personalities. And if you're hot-headed as a project manager, or your fuse goes off easily, you will not be able to manage people, because you will jam, you literally mix your match, right? So you should be able to understand how to communicate, look at your team, be able to analyze each person's personality, so that you know how to manage them based on the different personalities. Like, these are things, in fact, even as a regular person, let's remove project management from here. Like, as a regular person, if you are going to be working with other people, you need to have some level of understanding and self-control, because not everybody is going to be like you. Some people are slow, and you need to accept the fact that some people are slow. How do you now deal with a slow person? You tell them ahead of time. If they have a project, or they have a task to deliver in a week, right? And you know that, oh, this person requires more time. Don't go last minute to expect that, oh, this person will be able to handle the pressure. Why don't you tell this person ahead of time that, okay, you have this and it's going to be required of you in so and so time. Why don't you start working on it by now, so that before then you have it ready? Because you already understand that this person is slow. This doesn't mean you should go around and be saying, oh, you are too slow, you are too slow. No, just understand and work with people the way they are. This is part of the things that nobody is going to teach you in a boot camp. Nobody is going to teach you in a training organization how to manage people as a project manager. You only learn maybe how to use Asana and Trello and Jira and different tools, but you're not learning the practical stuff. Okay. And that's a very typical way. And once you have that kind of experience, you would always, in fact, it's never going to leave you. And when you're even selling yourself in an interview, they would ask you something around that to understand your behavior in a work environment. Usually they ask questions like that. And you have to answer it. Okay? If you don't have that experience, you won't be able to answer it. That's just the truth. Now, let's go back. Managing stakeholder relationships and communication. Remember the last slide I shared? One of the most important things is that you'll be managing stakeholders. I want you guys to understand that managing a stakeholder is it's weightful. It's a weight on its own, because the pressure is there. If you are someone that you're scared of anything, you're scared of anyone, you will not have the guts to manage some kind of people, right? You would hate your boss. Let me just put it that way. You're going to hate your boss. But when you understand how to manage them, you would be able to, maintain that relationship. Now, there are some stakeholders that they expect that if you're coming to them, don't come to them with a problem. With that, like, let's say you have a problem, you guys are facing a particular challenge in your team. They're not expecting you to come tell them the problem. They want you to come tell them the problem and what you feel a solution would be. There are people that are like that. And now they may not be able to communicate to you that this is how I am. I don't like hearing problems. I like hearing problems with solutions. For them, they might translate it to you that, why are you telling me this thing? Maybe they are angry that you're bringing up these things and the rest of that. For you, you might feel, oh, this person hates me. But you don't just understand that they like problem that has solution. Bring the problem, tell me a possible solution, and I'll give you go ahead, implement or not. Or tell me what you've tried to do. Did it work? Didn't it work? There are people that are like that. There are stakeholders that are like that. They don't want to hear the problem. So you might now start feeling bad that, oh, this person is always complaining about my output. Why? Now, there are some other stakeholders that maybe they want you to give them core details, right? They don't want to be asking you too many questions. They want to they just want you to come present every little thing, like all the details. Just tell them possible things they might likely ask you. Tell them, just pour it out. Let me hear. There are some that are like that. And once you understand how that person is, whenever you're going to maybe present to that person or tell the person how the project is going or whatever is happening, you understand how they expect you to communicate, and you're communicating it that way. It's a win-win. Nobody is having problem with anybody. But if you now go ahead and you're now telling that person mundane things that they don't want to know about, they will be angry. So I want you guys to understand that this thing is not just about learning tools, right? It is the practical and the real core aspects of it is what you should know. Now, clearly and regularly communicate progress, right? Communication is very important. You're going to be talking a lot, talking with your teammates, talking with the cross-functional team, other people on your team, stakeholders, you're talking to them. You are managing people. You are always going to be managing people. So you need to understand. In fact, some of you that are even project managers should go as far as learning people's personality, because you want to excel in this field. You need to cover every aspect. Be good with your tools. Understand people. Understand how to communicate with people, right? You know that tone is very important with communication. And some of us, I don't even want to go to that. Trust me, it's only experience. If you have that experience, if you have the experience, you'll be able to understand where I am coming from. Okay. Now, there are so many other key responsibilities that you need to know, right? I've already highlighted it out here. The tools. So I saw some of you know MS Project, you know Trello, Asana, and the rest of that for project tracking. Great. Very, very important. Documentation of your processes. Do you know how to document? Can you create reports? Can you create project summaries? Can you mitigate risk? Can you identify risk and potential problems during the project lifecycle? Can you even come up with can you provide project updates? Can you talk? Can you communicate? These are very, very important things, right? So let's still go ahead. Let's see more about this, right? Now, the skills and experience you need as a project manager. This is if you are applying for roles. If you are actively applying for roles as a project manager, I want you to take some time out and actually look at job posting. Now, be honest with yourself, right? You don't need to have everything checked. You don't need to have it maybe 20/20 or 18/20, but really look at it and judge where you are, right? Is it the tools that you're not so sure of? Go and learn it. Is it the experience? Find a way to gain experience, right? It could be by registering for a boot for a an internship, or your volunteering. Anyhow you want to gain experience, you need that experience. You need to experience what it's like to manage a project. If not, you're going to find it hard to land a job, because they want to know that you've done this thing before. So this skills and experience here is literally the same thing that they are requiring of you. And now this is slowly bringing Andari into the picture, because most of what is on the job requirement is what you are going to be doing as a project manager in Andari, right? I know I just brought in Andari, but before we go into understanding what we really do, I want to give you guys an understanding that if you are going to be interning with Andari, our internship experience aligns with the requirements in the job market. Now let's take real project delivery experience, for example. You need to be able to manage end-to-end project life cycle. I mentioned this countless times. So our interns work on live real projects end-to-end across various industries. So you can now understand the kind of experience they are getting from the program. It is not a training, it is a real project management experience. Some of these projects require them to work in cross-functional teams. So you understand, and you're going to learn how to work with the data analyst, the BA, the designer, just like in the real world, right? You will learn how to plan project, you learn project planning, project tracking, and reporting. So as a PM, right, you'll be able to create timeline, you'll be able to run stand-up and report progress, right? You even learn how to practically use these PM tools. You might know how to use Asana, but you might not know how to onboard other team members to use Asana. So I want you guys to really understand where experience comes in, right? How would you communicate to the next person that, okay, we need to use Asana? Can you even communicate why using that particular tool is important for project management? Why is it important? Why do you need the data analyst, the BA, the designer? Why do you need to track all of them with Asana? Can you onboard them? Important. Can you communicate with stakeholders? Because our interns practice during presentations how to communicate with stakeholders at the end of the day, giving live updates in demo sessions, right? They have this experience, and they will be using PM tools like Jira, Trello, Asana, MS Projects, and the rest of this, okay, in the internship. And also it is an agile experience. They would learn risk management too. So this is literally the kind of real world experience that we give our interns, right? That is exactly what it is. Now, why exactly don't you get hired as a PM? The real reason, this is the real reason, right? You do not have any, you've never worked on a practical project before. You've never worked on a real project before. Now, if you've never worked on a real life project before as a project manager, give me a thumbs up. Let's be honest, it is nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, we are all learning. Some of us are transitioning. Michael, great. I love the honesty. If you've never worked on a real life project, you've never done something practical, something real as a project manager before, now, understandable. That's why we are here in this session, okay? So now you can understand that a major reason you are overlooked is because you don't have practical experience. Why is this important? when you get that interview, or even when you're sending out your CV, there are literally certain keywords. Let me even give you guys an understanding of how this thing works, right? So you've revamped your CV, you've put all the important stuff. This for those of you that don't have experience, right? You've put your training organization, you put your previous work experience and everything. Once you send out this CV, it goes through, let's say there's a particular job posting, right? And for most of you that look at a lot of job posting, you see something like, you see like 500 people are applying for the same role, 1,000 people, 200, and the rest of that. Do you really think the hiring manager is looking at each and every one of these CVs? No. Here is how it works. It goes through an ATS scanner, right? Now, the only way your CV would pass ATS and go to the hiring manager is if it has major keywords and if it is structured. The only way you will now have major keywords on your CV is if you have the experience, or maybe you are just lying. Those are the two ways. What are these keywords? Things like communicate, things like the tools, Asana, Trello, MS Projects, those are tools. They are also keywords. Things like stakeholder management is a keyword. Things like project workflow, project management, these are major keywords when you are writing in sentences, right? That means you're literally explaining your experience. And as you're doing that, obviously, you would have keywords. But if you don't have that experience, that means your CV is not rich and it won't be able to even pass the ATS. So you would keep applying and applying and applying and you're not getting any feedback. Aside from that, you can literally go on ChatGPT and lie. And God help you, you land the interview. And they're not asking you important questions like, okay, I see you have this, you on your CV, it says that you've managed stakeholders before and you have this experience. Tell us your strategy for handling maybe a hot-headed stakeholder, or how do you communicate findings and how do you communicate your project updates to stake. Like, that's where you'll be caught, because you cannot lie your way through an interview, except you're one of those people that are very good with cramming, or you are great with lying. I don't know how you want to lie, because they will ask you for practical experience. What have you done before, basically? So if you don't have that, it's going to be hard for you. And this is one of the reasons that you don't have that job yet. You don't have the practical projects to talk about. Now, that also, I already explained big portfolio or big CV. Your portfolio is like a bank of your experience. What have you done? Someone should be able to see your portfolio and see the different projects you've put your hand into, different projects you've managed, and different things you've done in the past. And for some people, they landed jobs because of their portfolio. Maybe there was something very interesting there. They worked on a very interesting project, and maybe when they sent out their CVs, it became a talking point during the interview. And because this person did this thing by themselves, they'll be able to sell themselves. They'll be able to talk about the end to end of that project, what they did, the problem they were trying to solve, and the rest of that. And you're like, okay, come on board, right? I have a friend that landed a job that way, just by the project she did. Okay, it was on her CV and it was very interesting. Okay, this is a project that landed her very first job as a project manager. So you feel like you want to go ahead and take more certifications. Certificate is not going to cover up for your lack of experience. It is not. It is, your certificate should be like the next step after your experience. Certificate is like validation. It's like saying, okay, I have this experience, so let me go ahead, let me take it a notch further, so that the certificate is just going to make me stand out from every other person. The first thing you should be looking at getting is experience. Okay, now another reason is because you can't confidently answer scenario-based questions. You won't be able to answer scenario-based questions if you don't have a scenario to talk about. This thing is black and white. It's literally black and white, except you want to lie, and you can't lie your way. Let me even tell you guys about a client that came to us once, and he had a very interesting story, right? He came to us and was like, oh, he has not landed a job, but between January and the time he came in contact with Amdari, he had at least 20 interviews, and he didn't land even one job. There are people that struggle to even get one interview. So as he mentioned that, I was now curious, how did you get these interviews and you didn't even land any job? I mean, if your CV was that powerful to land you an interview, why didn't you land the job? He was now like, oh, that the reason he even got those interviews is because he lied on his CV. He put on his CV that he worked at NHS, right? And he really structured his experiences. Everything was really structured. So his CV kept giving him that result. But since there were lies, he was always caught during the interview because he couldn't really certify and back up what he had on his CV. So he came to Amdari to actually get experience so that it's just going to be, you're landing the interview and you're not lying this time, right? So that kind of thing just made me like, wow. So someone can actually get interviews and still not even land one job. They want you to have experience. If you're in the UK, it is expected that you should have at least a UK experience, right? They want you to have an experience working with a company in the UK. So your own the kind of experience you'd be going for, you'll be tailoring it to maybe companies that are in the UK, right? Because you need that experience, right? Maybe you're tired of working maybe a healthcare job, you want to go into tech. But now these guys don't want to hire you because you don't have experience, and they're also not willing to give you that job to gain experience. So how exactly do they want you to have experience? They're asking you for reference, but no job wants to hire you. So how do you get this experience? That's why you're here today. Okay, so how exactly do you get this experience? I don't want to go and I don't want to give you guys too many data on why experience is important. They've done this survey, they've done these reports, it is out there. You can go ahead and check why a lot of entry-level guys are not landing jobs. The highest score went for the fact that they lacked real world experience or required years of experience, right? And the truth is that you don't need up to 2 years to have the required experience that you need to excel at a job. 3 to 6 months can give you a rich experience so far as you have done the necessary things you are supposed to do and you have the necessary experience that you need, and also you can deliver the results you are supposed to deliver, right? At the end of the day, you need to be able to solve problems. That's that's literally the end goal. That's why companies want to hire you. They are bringing you on board to solve their problems, right? So why don't you focus on learning how to solve problems, right? So 6 months is enough. 3 months is enough. Good for you. Up to 1 year would give you a very strong experience, right? So you should go for that. And the best way is through an internship, right? And that is where we come in at Amdari. Amdari helps you get that real world experience that you're looking for. The experience that would make recruiters take you seriously. And we focus on the following career paths: data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analysis. I forgot to add project management here. Very important. That's even why we are here today. So aside the project managers, if you find yourself in any of these career paths, give me a thumbs up. Even if you're a project manager, still give me a thumbs up. If you find yourself in either of these career paths, give me a thumbs up. Okay, Francis, great. Great. Amdari is for you. You'll be able to gain real world experience across all these career paths. So if you belong to any of it, count yourself lucky this night, because you're going to learn how you are going to leverage Amdari to gain this world experience. So how are you now going to gain real world experience with Amdari? You understand where you've seen the gap. I started this session by showing you the gap. And now, how do we fill the gap? I don't like bringing up problems without solutions. So let's look at the solution about how Amdari can help you fill this gap. So at Amdari, we help you with project-based experience. You are gaining project-based experience. That means you are going to be working on real projects, at least 6 to 10 real industry-based projects. These are real business problems, okay? They are not makeshift projects. They are not Kaggle projects. Besides, I'm not even sure Kaggle has projects for PMs. I haven't really checked that. But you're solving actual business challenges. And it will be across different industries, right? It will be in tech, it could be in fintech, healthcare, managed healthcare, e-commerce, depending. That means you're gaining experience across multiple industries. You're not limiting yourself. You'll be able to apply to as many jobs as you want because you have experience across board. The way you would manage the team and stakeholders of a healthcare project, you need to understand the fundamentals. It will not be the same way you might likely handle a fintech project. You might be using the same tools, but the business problems will be different, and it's in different industries. Sometimes you would see some very, very funny job postings where they are telling you, oh, we need a project manager, but they go as far as specifying the industry they want you to have experience in. And not a lot of us are lucky to have all these experiences, right? That's why Amdari opens you. We expose you to working with projects across multiple industries so that you don't feel limited with your choices. Okay. And for those of you in other aside the PMs, you'll be required to work across various roles, right? Now, what does this mean? Let's bring it to data analyst, for example. If you're a data analyst working in a healthcare project or a healthcare related project, you would work as a health analyst. The same thing goes for e-commerce. You're working as a sales analyst. Same thing goes for logistics and supply chain industry. You work as a logistics and supply chain analyst. That's just the role. That's how your role will change. Does this mean that you are no longer a data analyst? No, you are still a data analyst, but you are working in the functions and capacity of different roles. Okay. I don't need to start explaining why this is important. Versatility is very important in tech. It is very important. It's not anything. It's not a matter of jack of all trades. No, it is very, very important. Please, I want you guys to fill the attendance form. For those of you who have not yet filled it, it's in the chat, and it's very important that you fill that form. Okay. Now, and there is work experience. You would also work with a cross-functional team. Some of your projects would require you to work in a cross-functional team, and this is mostly for the BAs, PMs. Some of your projects might require you to work with other people, right? And you need to understand how. I have already explained the importance of understanding people management. So this kind of experience is going to help you a lot when you are applying for jobs, when you're talking about yourself during interviews, and even when you land a job, you are not going to have any problem with that. A training organization will not give you the cross-functional team experience. Even normal team experience, you may not likely have it, but Amdari's experience internship is going to help you to develop that skill set, right? Now, you're going to be working across multiple technologies, different tech stack. So for some of you that had 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, even 1/5, there is an opportunity for you to learn if you are open to learning, right? Now, even if for those of you in tech, you should even understand that learning never stops. So even those of you that feel, oh, you had a 4/5 or a 3/5, there's still space and opportunity for you to learn. So the reason we have multiple tech experience for you is because sometimes you might be required to work with tools that you've probably not worked with before. Even in normal business setting, normal business organization, they could just wake up one day and be like, oh, we're no longer going to be using Asana. We want to use Trello, right? And maybe for you as the project manager, you are more conversant with Asana. You've not used Trello before. You have to go and learn. You will learn, right? And you're learning on the job. Now, I want you to picture that kind of experience. It's the same thing you'll be having with Amdari. You don't need to know everything. Just have the basics, have the foundation, have the foundational knowledge, right? Maybe you've gone through a training, you've done a boot camp. Obviously, you may not know everything, but that foundation is very important. You need to understand at the core what is expected of you as a project manager, right? And when we expose you to this different tech stack, we have resources that would help you if you are facing challenges. We also even have a learn platform that maybe you can always brush up on your tool sets, your skill sets. We have team leads that you can always ask questions if you face any challenges. These are very important things because it's the same thing that you would face in an actual business environment, okay? You get to work in a collaborative team. You guys are collaborating on a project. All this is just experience. right? The project-based experience that's required of you is what we are giving to you. And it's now going to give you confidence for the future roles. If you land a job tomorrow as a project manager, because you've gone through an internship, you are never going to have any problems. I can confidently beat my chest to say that you are not going to have any problems. And once I show you the kind of project you would work on, you understand why I am saying so. And also, this internship experience gives you the opportunity to network with people. You are meeting people across different regions. If you're in the UK, you meet people in the UK. Likewise, it could be in another region, right? You meet people in Canada, you meet people in US, right? It's a global experience. Okay, it's a very global experience. We're not even asking you to meet physically. That's up to you if you want. But everything is remote and virtual. You don't know where your next opportunity is going to come from. Okay. Now, in addition to this project-based experience, you are gaining employability skills. We do not just stop there, right? Because we understand that the core essence, the core aspect of landing a job is not just, it doesn't end at experience. It goes as far as your CV. It goes as far as mentorship, career coaching, interview prep. It goes as far as even revamping your LinkedIn. Very, very important. Okay. So these are things that we help you to do. Now, for your CV revamping, you could be coming from a different industry and you feel, oh, the experience I have, maybe how will I be able to translate my previous experience into what is required, right, for my new job I want to be a project manager? How will I relate my previous? We have experts that are going to help you with that. Now, there's what we call transferable skills for some of you that do not know. And your previous role, you probably did something around, you did something in your previous role that you can still use that experience. You just need to revamp it. And you will still put it on your CV. We have experts that are good with that. So when they revamp your CV with your previous experience, it's not going to showcase you as someone that just started yesterday. We're not, maybe if you have five years of experience in logistics and supply chain, we're not throwing it away. We're still going to revamp it and use it for you, right? So when we revamp your CV, that's how we're going to do it. I don't need to start explaining the essence of LinkedIn. LinkedIn has helped me so much, right? I've gotten opportunities from LinkedIn and I didn't even have to stress, just because my LinkedIn is optimized for that. You can go ahead and check on LinkedIn, Victory Brown. You can search for that. So LinkedIn optimization is very important because it's all about perception, right? Sometimes when you apply for jobs, these recruiters go as far as checking your LinkedIn to show you how serious they are, because they want to be sure that they're not bringing, they want to be sure of the talent they are bringing on board, right? They don't want a situation of what I ordered versus what I got. Because there are people that really know, your CV is saying one thing, but your professional social is saying another thing, right? Right from your headline to even your banner and your headshot, it's supposed to give professionalism, and that's why we help you to optimize it. You have access to mentors, you have access to career coaches, and if you have any challenges at all, these people are at your beck and call. You can reach out to them. You have sessions with them because they have over 6-8 years of experience in the field, so they can guide you. They've done these things before. You've tried to do it on your own. How far have you gone, right? Just why don't you now learn from someone that has done what you want to do? Follow their tracks. They've delivered the results over and over again. They know what works. Why not just learn from them and follow them, right? That's why you have access to them, mentors and coaches. We prep you for interviews. This is literally the most important thing, because one major thing a lot of professionals struggle with, especially tech guys, you guys struggle a lot with interviews, right? You don't know how, maybe now you have the experience. Let's say you have the experience already. For those of you that have the experience, it's one thing to have it. It's another thing to communicate it in a way that is convincing to the recruiter. So what we do is that we conduct mock interviews where you practice answering some of these technical and even behavioral questions, right? We go as far as hiring external people so that you have that whole feel of the interview setting and you're answering these questions as if it is an interview setting. You're practicing. And at the end of the day, you now get structured feedback on how you're communicating, your tone, and even storytelling. You learn how to use different methods, like the STAR method, for those of you that don't know. If you are, you guys, I'm dishing a lot of things that you need to know in this session, right? For those of you that do not know the STAR method, when a recruiter asks you a scenario-based question, they're not asking you to start pouring out your heart and soul. They're not asking you to pour out your whole life history. You need to be very strategic when you're answering questions, recruiters' questions. It doesn't also mean that you should be too, you shouldn't be, open and, conversational. No, it just means that in as much as you're trying to communicate, you should know that at the end of the day, the aim is for you to sell yourself. So you should be very structured in what you're saying. That's why we have something like the STAR method, right? So the STAR method is from situation to task, then action and result. They ask you a scenario-based question. The first thing, maybe let's use a very typical example, right? They're asking you, tell us the time you solved, or tell us the time you were able to manage an end-to-end project workflow. You start from the business problem, the situation. What was the problem? What was the issue? Why did they bring you on board for that particular project? Now, the task, what did you do? What were the things you were supposed to do? You mentioned it, right? Maybe you were managing the BAs, the data analysts, and also the web developers, web designers. That was one of your tasks. You use Jira to, manage their project and the rest of that. Tell the task that you did in your function. The action, how did you do it? And finally, what was the result at the end of the day? Right? That is how you structured your answer. You structured your answers. And now, when you are now answering these things, they should be impactful. There should be impact in your answer so that you convey yourself as an impactful person. Right? It is going to make them, in fact, they would feel this sense of regret if they don't bring you on board. That's how your answers should feel, right? So when we have these kind of sessions with you, we are also building your confidence so that you're not using uncertain language. You're not saying, oh, I think, or maybe. You're speaking with authority, right? So we help you, we guide you through all that, and it helps to build your confidence. Very, very important. You have access to a job reference letter. This letter is we're registered in the UK and we're registered in Canada. So if you need job reference and maybe they're asking you for proof of work experience, and Dari gives that to you, you have access to that. Okay. All right. Okay. Nkechi asked for my name on LinkedIn. My name is Victory Brown on LinkedIn, right? It's the same name basically. You won't miss it. It's the same face. Okay. You have access to job reference letter. Now, this job reference letter is very important for those of you in the UK too. And you have access to this up until 2 years after your internship experience. Okay. So if you're done with the internship after 6 months, you can always look at it up to 2 years. Like you can always ask us for it up until 2 years. And maybe you land the job tomorrow, you still need on the job support. We give that to you. You have access to it from Amdari, okay? Now, this is basically how we help you to gain this project-based experience. So let's go deeper. Okay, this is literally an example of an optimized profile of one of our consultants. This is a data analyst, Tina Bassi, and on the right, is a revamped CV. This CV is ATS optimized, and it also has all the necessary keywords. That's how we structure the CV. And also we add your experience with Amdari to the CV, right? So let's go deeper. Let me give you guys an insider view of what happens inside the internship experience. What are you coming on board to do? Now, this is the part where you really need to pay attention because you'll be asking a lot of questions. Most of your questions will be around this part for those of you that would be coming on board for the April cohort, okay? So we've been able to partner with businesses across different organizations in the UK, US, Canada, and various countries, and we've been able to get their business problems. We do not give you too much details about these guys because of confidentiality's sake, but you have their business problems. At the end of the day, the main essence of this program is experience, right? You need to have that experience working in the capacity so that when you are applying, you have what to talk about and you can talk from a place of confidence. That's the essence. So we've been able to partner with these organizations and we assign Okay, share presentation slides. Okay. You need to fill the attendance form. I'm going to share that again. I'm going to share the attendance form again. So you need to fill that. Or Uche, you can help me share that so that I go ahead with the session. Just help me share that. All right. When you fill the attendance form, you would have access to, that's the link I believe for most adverts. Okay. Worked as a project coordinator. Okay. All right. Now, what was I saying? Okay, we've been able to partner with these businesses and we have their business problems. We assign these projects to you in teams, right? So if you're coming on board as a project manager, you are going to be assigned to a team, right? And you'll be working with a team of people. It could be cross-functional, it's mostly going to be cross-functional for people, PMs and BAs too. You're working with a team. You're not just working by yourself. If you're a data analyst, you're working with data analysts, you're working with a team of people. Okay. And you guys will be solving these business challenges. Now, we're not asking you to quit your 9 to 5 to come work with Amdari. No. You just have to dedicate at least an hour. You need to dedicate at least an hour to your project. Least. That doesn't mean you should just stop at an hour. For some of you, you might want to go, as far as 2 hours, 3 hours, depending. But it is very flexible. You're going to have stand-up meetings, right? You're going to have stand-up just like a regular organization. Now, for PMs, you are going to learn how to conduct stand-up meetings. It's part of what you'll be learning, right? So every core thing that you'd be expected to do as a PM is what you are going to learn during the internship, okay? So you're having stand-up meetings, and this meeting, the time of this meeting will be communicated to you guys, and it's going to be agreed, right? So you come together with your team and your team lead. Every team you have a team lead, someone you report to, someone that you can always reach out to if you face any challenges. So you come together and you guys, the timing is going to be agreed. Your stand-up doesn't need to be in the morning, it could be in the evening, and it's going to be at an agreed time, okay? And when you guys have these meetings, you'll be updated on where you are with your project, because all these projects have timelines and you need to be up to date with your project. Where are we? What are we doing at this point? What have you done so far? That's everything. Just like you're working in an actual business organization. So when you guys come together, you're coming together to collaborate on this project and come up with recommendations and findings, right? So we give you a project brief document. I'm going to show you what it looks like, and it's going to contain all the necessary details for the project, the business problem, the tools, the project objective, the workflow of your project, what is expected, your objective, what are your deliverables. Everything will be in that document, so you know what you're supposed to do at each point in time and who you're supposed to report to, how you're supposed to carry out your different activities, okay? So once you are done solving these business problems, you come up with a presentation with your team and you are presenting your findings to stakeholders at the end of the day. So there will be a team presentation. I mentioned the importance of stakeholder management and communication. You are learning that practically with Amdari, okay? That's literally the experience you're having. And you can now add this experience to your CV. You're going to add it to your CV, you will add it to your CV. You are going to add it to your CV that you work with Amdari as a consultant, data analyst consultant, project manager, data science consultant, SOC analyst, GRC specialist. These are the different scopes and career paths you could work with Amdari, okay? And it's going to be on your CV, and the impact you made for these businesses is going to be there too on your CV. And also you can have access to the work reference letter as course is on demand. Do you need it tomorrow or next year or next week, next month? You're applying to something, or maybe you want to do your master's, they require you to have proof of work experience. Amdari is going to give it to you. Do you need us to email the organization? We'll do that for you. You have access to it on demand. And now you can use this experience during interviews. Okay, this is literally how it works. Now, we are here so far. If this sounds interesting to you, I want you guys to give me a thumbs up. If this sounds like something that you would want to consider, or you'd want to, try out. I mean, instead of you going to get another training, why not learn from a different approach, right? Why not use the approach that is actually going to work for you? I showed you guys a typical job posting and what they expect you to have. So Amdari we've done all that research. We know what is expected. We know the kind of projects that would literally turn recruiters' heads. We know the kind of industries to get projects from and what you need to, the kind of experience you need to have, right? So why don't you come and work with people that have already done these things before? Why don't you save yourself the stress of going over, having all your like 5, 10 certifications? You have CAMP, you have PMP, you have Scrum Master, everything, but you don't have a job. Why don't you save yourself that stress? That's why we have Amdari here for you. So luckily for you, we're getting there, innocence. Relax. Just relax, we're getting there, okay? Now, we have a cohort open for May. And the special thing about this cohort is the discounts that we have for this particular cohort, okay? So for those of you that want to start the program, you want to gain experience, you want to come on board with Amdari. Luckily for you, we have the May cohort open. And now the time that all of you have been waiting for is here. What is the cost of this value and this experience, right? You've heard everything you needed to hear about Amdari work experience. So obviously, it's nothing good or nothing valuable actually comes free. So here is what we have for you. So I want you guys to also really pay attention here, okay? Because this is also very important. This is a very important part that you guys need to pay attention to. You know the career path that we focus on. Before I go into this pricing structure, I want you to understand that if you're coming on board, you need to have foundational knowledge. If you've never, ever done anything around PM before, you have never learned any skill in data analytics. You've never learned anything in data science. You've never, ever done anything in any of these career paths. You will struggle with this program, right? It is not for you. Let me just be blunt. It is not for you if you've never done anything before. Now, does this mean that you need to have everything? You need to have all the... No. It means that you should have the foundation set so that when you're learning, it's easier for you to pick up on things. It's easier for you to understand what you are doing. We're not training you from scratch, okay? I just wanted to make sure that you guys understand that. So let's go to this pricing structure. We have the 3 months experience and the 6 months work experience. So for those of you that may not, you want something quick, you want a quick fix, you just want to spend few months, gain experience, build your portfolio to a certain extent, and gain, maybe you want to revamp your CV and every other thing I mentioned, right? You just need something quick and you want to get back into the job market, you go for the 3 months. Now, the 6 months is what we recommend because the 6 months is going to be a more immersive program for you, right? You're going to work on more projects. So the only difference between both of these programs is the number of projects that you're going to be working on. So let's say the 3 months, you work on 4 or 5 projects, but the 6 months, you're working on at least 8 to 10 projects across various industries. So it's now up to you. What do you need, right? Do you need the 3 months or the 6 months? It's literally up to you. And you remember I mentioned that we're running a discount currently. And instead of you to pay the full amount, you get to pay the discounted amount, right? We have sessions like this on a regular basis. So we open up these discounts for people that join these kinds of sessions, right? You're not just, maybe you didn't just see it on the website and decide to enroll. You literally had to get the information from us directly. We have the discounts for you, okay? Now, you pay in the discounted amount. So instead of £500, you pay £390. I see a lot of people are starting to have questions. We'll get into the questions and answer aspects really soon. And the same thing goes for the 6 months. Instead of paying the discount, the actual amount of £900, you get to pay the discounted amount of £750. Now, for each of these work experience internships, we have an installment plan. We know that some of you may not be able to make a one-off payment. So we go as far as making an installment plan so that you secure your slots and you can always make up for your payments across multiple installments. And for the 3 months, we have up until 3 installments plan for you. So it means that you can literally spread your $390 payments across 3 months. Let's say you secure your slots first, you take advantage of the discount, secure it with £130. Next month, same time, you secure your second installment, and finally you make up for it in the following months. The same thing goes for the 6 months work experience. You have a 5 installment plan for the 6 months. That means you're literally making installments in 150 now across 6 months. So you can see that we're making it easy for you to get into the program. Okay, because we understand that a lot of our interns, some of them actually are interested in this thing, but they may not be able to make a one-off payment. So this is there for you. Okay, so my colleague is going to drop the payment link for those of you that want to take action to secure your slots. I'm going to open up the floor for questions really soon. So if you have your questions, if you do not want to forget it, you can type it in the chat or you write it down somewhere. We're going to be taking questions soon. So the link is going to be in the chat, and I'm going to show you guys how to make payments, how to secure your slots rather, right? Before we go ahead and take questions, okay? All right, so let me show you how to secure your slot. Let me share my entire screen so you guys see everything that we have for you. So I don't know if the link has been shared yet. Uche, you might want to do that. Let me see if I can share the payment link. All right, so let me quickly share that. All right, now let me show you how to make payments, and I would also show you a project or different projects you would likely work on. So if you click on the link that was just shared, okay, I don't have that open. Let me show you guys. Okay, I didn't share the link. Let me share that. I'm not wearing. Okay, all right, so let me share the link. Okay, so the link is in the chat now, and let me click on it. Let me paste it on my browser. So I'll show you guys in practical way you're going to do it. Okay, so once you click on it, it's going to take you to this platform, the main start platform, where you get to secure your installments or your slots, right? So which program are you going for? You have data analytics 3 months, data 6 months, data science. Let's go for PM because that's why we are here. Now, agile project management. Let's go for the 3 months project management program. It's coming up. Now, you can literally, with this platform, you can pay in whatever currency is most convenient for you. So it's coming up. This is taking. All right. So let me. Okay, so I'm just going to try loading this again. So basically, if you click on it from your end, you should be able to see it. I don't know why this is not coming up yet, but let's give it time. While that is loading, let me show you guys the other extra things we have for you at Amdari. Now, in addition to everything I've mentioned the work experience, how it works. I've mentioned the tools you'll be working with. I've mentioned the fact that you have access to mentors and the fact that you have access to a work reference letter. I mentioned so many things that Amdari offers to you. We also have a portfolio builder where you get to showcase the different projects you've worked on with us as at Amdari. Okay, now this is coming up. You can literally search Amdari and it's going to come up. Okay, if you search for Amdari online, wherever you want to search it, it's going to come up. Okay, so let's check. Let's do this. Let's go to the main page. Now this is the main page. Everything I've talked about, the different career paths you're going to be working with, everything is here. You have access to the pre portfolio, the job board, and even the Learn platform. Okay. All right, so let me show you guys that. You go to Rave by Amdari. That is coming up. Don't know why this is a bit slow today. Okay, it's up. It's up now. So you get to work on real projects. This is our website. This is what it looks like. Okay. And this is also coming up. All right. So I think let me take questions while all of this is coming up. Then we'll come back to it. Okay, because I can see that some people have questions to ask. So let's take the questions, right? Let's take it. Let's take that first. Now, Precious, fill the attendance form. All the slides will be sent to you. All right. So if up until this point you have a question, let's take it. You can raise your hand and I'll go ahead and take your questions, right? Before I go ahead and show you guys other things I need to show you. I see one in the chat. During the internship, are we going to be in a team with other career paths, PM, data analysts? It depends on what is required. Now, some projects might require you to have that cross-functional experience, while some would be strictly like you and your teammates. But essentially, you are going to be working in a team, okay? So if it's a cross-functional project, that means you work in a cross-functional team. If it's not, you are working with a team of people in the same career path, such as yourself. But you would still be gaining experience in that particular field, right? The essence is the experience that you're gaining, all right? So that is that. All right, someone's hand is raised. You can go ahead. I think I see Chidubem. Chidubem, you can go ahead and ask your question. Yourself. You can use the chat. Let me know if you can unmute yourself or not. All right. Okay, you're muted. Let me check that. Okay, try it again. Try it now. Try it. I think you can unmute now.
Okay, yes, I am. You can hear me now, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay, Alexa, stop. Okay, my question is, this is a practical, the session with Andare is a practical experience gathering kind of now, and you need some people must have gotten some kind of experience before joining this program. Okay, and that experience, where could it be gotten from? Probably certifications, right? So what certifications are you recommending for someone who is new before joining you? Because even in your presentation, you are like, is the experience first before certification? But now, coming to join Andare, you are saying some knowledge before joining. So how do you explain this now, and what is recommended?
All right, that's a very, very interesting question. All right. Now, we're not saying that you must have certification before coming on board, right? That's the first thing I want to clarify. Now, you rightly stated that you could get that first experience through any means. It could be by certification, it could be by boot camp, could be training, it could be anything. But that foundational knowledge is very important. Okay. And when I was talking about certification, I said that it shouldn't be your major focus. It should be a nice to have, right? To add to what you know already, the experience that you have, right? Being certified just it just validates your experience, right? Instead of you going to get certification without actually having experience, it doesn't really make as much sense that you've taken the exam, you have the PM, you have your PMP, but your experience aspect, you are not solid with your technical and you're not solid with your soft skills. You don't have experience to talk about, right? So I'm saying that if you're coming on board, foundational knowledge is important. Maybe you've done a boot camp before, or you've gone through a training, or you've learned some of these tool sets that you need as a PM. Okay, it doesn't mean that maybe you've worked as a PM before, or I mean, if you've worked as a PM before, it's still good. But foundational knowledge is very important, because we're not going to come and teach you these different tool sets from scratch. Not from scratch. We're not teaching you from scratch. We are giving you experience. You will still learn in the program, yes. But if you've not had any type of training, or you've not done anything at all before, you're fresh. You're literally freshly transitioning into tech. You're going to struggle. I don't know if you get what I am saying.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I have enrolled with Tenalytics, and from the understanding, I will still have to get across to Andari, right?
Yes.
After
Yes,
the
you do.
training. So, what duration am I now going to spend with Andari? 3 months,
Okay.
6 months,
How long did you intern with
8
Tenalytics?
months. It's
8 months, right?
starting in May.
Sorry?
The cohort is starting 10th of May.
Okay, you
But
are about to start your course with Tenalytics.
yes,
Okay, and you've registered with them already.
yes,
When you're done with your internship with your training with Tenalytics, you can always come to Andari. Maybe you do a 3 month with 3 month internship with us in addition to what you're doing with Tenalytics already. Does that make sense?
yes.
I thought that maybe you've gone far and now you want to add internship to it. But since you just enrolled with them, you might want to go ahead with the program. Then when you've gotten to a point where you can bring internship on board, it doesn't mean you don't even need to wait until you're completely done with the 8 months. It could be in your 6th or your 4th month. You feel like there's enough, you have that time and you can actually go ahead with the internship. You enroll with us ahead of that.
All right, thank
But
you.
for now, you would want to focus on getting as much knowledge as possible from the training.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Good luck with your training with Tenalytics. All right, Temi Tope, you can go ahead and ask your question. You can go ahead. You're mute. I
All
can't.
right. Yeah.
All right.
Good evening.
Hi,
Thanks
good
for this
evening.
session. Yeah.
You're
So
welcome.
I think I have 2 questions for now. I might have others later, so I will ask them as they come by. So the first one, someone asked a question the other time, a lady that okay, I think it has to do with the team, something like that. So I just have a question from that. So the answer you gave was, as project manager, you might be working with cross-functional team, or depending on the project, and on some other projects it might be with your own team. Like I wouldn't know. Can you please expatiate what you mean by your own team? Do you mean fellow
Okay.
project
It means
manager?
it's okay. I understand what you're asking, right? It means that there are some key functionalities you need to understand as a project manager. So we've restructured the project management scope for you guys. Some of your projects will be cross-functional, while some will be focused on major things you need to learn, like maybe how to maybe your project workflow, like those different modules, key aspects that you need to really focus on, right? So with those kind of projects, it's not you working with another team, right? There are some of the projects that, like, I'm going to let me show you a sample of what I am talking about so you get what I am saying, right? So
Alright.
let's all your projects, everything is going to be on Google Classroom. Google Classroom is where you would you'd be assigned your project. So let's look at PM. Let me give you a typical example. I think someone asked the same thing in the chat. So this is killing two birds with one stone. So let's go to let me go to their first project, their very first project. All right. Now, this was a cross-functional project, right? And the company Hisense, let's look at the business problem. This project was an AI power based, the company is AI powered. The how do the product, yes, sorry about that. It just left my brain. The product is an AI powered recruitment platform, and the business problem was the recruiters were facing difficulties finding the right audience. You know, this thing of recruiters looking for candidates looking for the right company, and recruiters. So this project was to bring together both the recruiters and the candidates to one space. So while you're looking for the right job, the recruiters are looking for the right candidates, right? So it's AI powered. There's an integration of AI into this, right? And the difference, this is business problem, right? So what is expected of you as the project manager, right? Coming up with the recruiter persona, job seeker persona, MVP expectations, features for recruiters. You can see that this is literally all the information that you need. These are the features for job seekers, right? This is the timeline, the phases of this project and what you'll be doing in these different phases. And now this is the deliverable. This was a cross-functional project. So we had the BAs, we had the PMs, and also the web designers and web developers on this project. Okay, so you can see that the first PM1 oversee development of recruiter specific functionalities. You can see the features, and the BA that was assigned to this PM, the same thing, PM2, and all of this. So this is a cross-functional project, for example, right? And this is literally a sample of something you might likely have. All right, so this is a typical example. And one fascinating thing about this kind of project, I was scrolling on LinkedIn one time and I saw a job posting that they were looking for an AI project manager. If you've never heard of that before, I'm telling you that it's a real thing. And the only way you are going to land that job if you've worked on an AI related project before. So we know these things. That's why we are exposing you to what is important. Okay, so this is an example of what you'll be working on, and it's not just in tech. Like I mentioned, it is going to be in various industries, right? Like it's going to be in various industries: business management, e-commerce, healthcare, various industries. We're not limiting it to just one key aspect. But one major thing about PM is that the aspect of PM that is more in high demand is if you're leaning towards tech, right? Because now, tomorrow, every day they are developing a startup. Every day there's a new startup, right? So that is literally it. Basically, I don't know who was I attending to? Is it Temitope? Who was asking me that question?
Yeah,
Okay,
the question.
yes. So that is literally an example of what you're going to be working on.
Okay, so from this document, so I can see PM 1, 2, 3. So does that mean on a project there are going to be more than a PM?
Sorry?
On each project, like how many PMs, how many project managers are going to be on a project? Like I could see PM1, PM2, PM3 on the document you just showed me now.
Okay, I would not have, it's going to depend on the number, because now we take a very limited number of PMs. We literally just opened up this slot like last month, and before we even opened up this particular slot, it's been closed for over 3 months, because we understand that we need to be able to give you guys the quality that you're looking for. Okay, so we only take about 20, 25 people, PMs especially, right? So I would not be able to give you that exact information because I am not your internship lead. It's going to depend on them, right? That's why I'm just showing you an example of what it is going to look like, right? So some of the projects will be cross-functional, right? While some of them would be module based, depending. at the end of the day, you're gaining the experience that you need to get, right? It could be cross-functional experience. It could be you learning specific aspects of what it means to be a project manager. Whatever the case may be, you are gaining all the experience that is required. Okay, so I may not be able to tell you exact numbers of maybe people that would be on the internship experience with you. It could be 2, it could be 1, it could be 3, it could be 4. I mentioned that you're working in teams. All right, so your team could be a team of 4, it could be a team of 5, depending. And this goes for all other career paths. Okay, does that
All right.
make sense?
I'm here with you.
Yes.
I'm online.
Yes.
I'm
Do
listening.
you have any other questions?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes, and the other time you mentioned something that it irritated me kind of. So you said as a project manager that it is good to have a basic knowledge of maybe data analysis, business analysis. So I don't know. So before I could function effectively, like as a PM in Amdaria, we have to like, can you give me like a brief of the basic knowledge to have in business analysis, because I don't have any and I don't wish to. Anything business data analysis, I'm not familiar with it. Power BI, SQL, SQL, I don't know. So I'm like, when I hear that,
right, so
like, why would I be a project manager and be
that's what I want to correct. That's
Yeah.
what I want to correct, right? I mean that you are going to be doing a lot of research actually, because you need to, at your core, you need to understand a little bit about different things, right? So I'm not saying that before you come on into Andari, you should go and learn to be a business analyst, you should learn to be a data analyst. No. I was just saying, I was talking about that aspect for those of you that want to really excel in your role. Maybe you want to be a project manager and you really want to be outstanding. You will be working with other people on different teams, right? I'm bringing it to a literal experience. And for you to really understand if people are delivering to their, to their optimum, maybe optimally, they are doing exactly what they are supposed to do. At some certain level, you should even have the basic, like you on your own personal, so you should really understand the basics of certain aspects. That's what I am saying. I don't mean that's a requirement for you coming on board with Andari. No. On your own personal level, you probably understand why a data analyst is important, what they are supposed to do, the tools they are supposed to use. I didn't say you should be a data analyst yourself. But if you're going to be working with someone in that particular capacity, you should have a little understanding of what they do, so that when you are assigning them tasks, or when you're trying to ask them what have you done, we are waiting on a particular this thing, and they bring it to you, you'll be able to know whether they've done it correctly or not. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. That's why I mentioned that earlier. I didn't say that that's a prerequisite of you coming into Amdari. Just putting that out there. Let me show you the tools that you'll be working with. Let's go to, you can search Amdari. Let's go to Amdari. Let's go to PM. Let's go to PM. Okay, this is my dashboard. So let's check all internship programs. All right, so if you even want to get more about Amdari, you come to our website. Let's look for project management isn't here. Okay. I wonder why that is the case, or is it I'm not seeing properly?
You are seeing properly. I have searched before too. I couldn't.
Oh, okay. That should be an oversight. Actually, that should be an oversight, because I feel like it wasn't updated because we closed out on PM and we recently just opened it, so it was probably not updated. So we'll do well to update that. But one key aspect you should understand is that coming on board at least, okay, let me even ask you, have you done something in PM before? Have you maybe learned the tools? Have you done a project before? Do you know how to use any tool already on a personal level?
Professionally, I'm not a project manager. I haven't managed a project before in the project management space. I've done some things that could be transferred related into project management. I've attended a boot camp, or should I say a training? But my involvement was only with project management, business analysis. We were only involved with business analysis. So I'm kind of exposed to little of business analysis and the tools, Balsamic, Draw.io, and all that. So I could, but only on business analysis. Data analysis, I don't even have passion for it. I don't like it. So when I heard you say that, I've tried to
don't be
navigate,
discouraged. Don't be
Power
discouraged.
BI on my own few times. Each time I'll just close it because I'm not falling in love with it. So
I understand. Now, from what you mentioned, you are literally okay and perfect to enroll in this internship program, right? Now, it is also an opportunity for you to learn more, okay? So we're not saying that, oh, have certification, make sure you are a professional before coming on board. If we were expecting you to be a professional before coming on board, there's no need for you to get internship again. Exactly. So just that foundation which you have already, you've done something around PM, even if you've not managed the project before, at least you have the foundational aspects. You have some tools in your arsenal. You've used Draw.io before. You've managed, you've worked with a BA and you've attended a boot camp. You're good. You will now come and gain more experience and work with more tools with Amdare. We have resources in case you use a tool that you probably not used before. We have resources for you. You have a team lead to ask questions if you come across any challenges. Okay, so you're good for the program. You're good.
Okay. So thank you. And during the program, so like you mentioned, present. I think you mention something like presentation? So during the program, I think like I heard you mention something like you're going to present something like that. So are we presenting to the business owner, like the owner of the project, or I know you mentioned stakeholder too. So and like what level of presentation will the PM cover? Are we presenting the report? Are we presenting what the BAs have done?
You're presenting what you did as a PM, your deliverables as a PM on that project, right? I showed you the documents, so all the necessary information is there, and you now tell us. Sorry. You're presenting to external stakeholders. They are not. I can't categorically tell you if they would be the people from those businesses or not, because I am not on the internship team. But the people that we usually ask you guys to present to are outside of Amdare, external stakeholders, right? Even for your preparation, interview preparation, they are going to be with external people, external HR personnel that we literally hire, like to just come for this stuff, right? So you are you're getting the experience of presenting, you're getting the experience of communicating, right? That's the idea. You're getting the experience of how it's going to feel like in an interview setting. That's the idea. You don't need to really know who is coming to interview you. We don't even tell you, so you won't even be scared, right? But we get external people that have experience in these different fields and aspects to listen to you, because if we are bringing people from the team, there's going to be some kind of bias. So if it's external people, they'll be able to give you good feedback. They're giving you feedback from a place of, or they don't even know you before. They are not your team lead. They are not your anything, right? They are giving you that feedback. So that when you go back, you know the actual thing you should work on and what you should improve and what you should do better. Okay. So it's going to be an external stakeholder. Temi, can you hear me? Hello,
I
yes,
can't.
you're muted. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I
All
have
right.
a. Sorry, I can hear you.
Any
Yeah,
other question?
that's it for now. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. So you're coming in as a PM, right?
Yes, I think I am.
You think you are. You think it would come back to you. Don't worry, you're still thinking. Do we have any other questions?
I no, I have
Oh,
registered actually. I have secured my spot. I'm just
oh, okay. You're
Mm.
okay. Okay, that's great. Congrats. All right. Okay. So do we have any other questions? I wanted to show you guys a few other. Okay. Tarinabo, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good evening. I can hear you.
Okay. A friend sent me this link though because I did a program on. Now I wasn't prepared. I was just told I know I work, but I wanted another stream of income. So we're just discussing. Then somebody told me about, remote and everything. So I'm an accountant. So I said I want something related to accounting, and I was told to do this PM. And then I enrolled. It was a 6 weeks program. Beautiful. Now my challenge was I I haven't used laptop before the program,
Laptop.
and I didn't do, yeah, like, y- yes, laptop, like, to go through. If I was told, oh, you have to do a little bit of this and that, to get used to some applications and there and there and that, I would have. Now I'm working on it though, because I did a program and then I was just dumbfounded as to how to do XYZ. I'm a work in progress because I now use Asana, I use ClickUp and Jira and the rest. I'm still a work in progress because 6 weeks is a short time to now say, oh, I'm good in XYZ. So I still do things on my own because it was a recorded session. So I go through it time and time again. So I know I need to enhance what I learned. And so we just talk and then somebody sent me this link and told me to join, and maybe it could be what I want. So far I know I want this because my challenge was, okay, how do I break in? I just learned the skills. So I just used ChatGPT to give me some task. Then I do it by myself, just a fictitious kind of setting, projects and this and that, priorities and the rest. I just deal with them in my own pace. But I know it's a different thing in the real world in case I now work with a remote organization, So I know I fit into what you've been saying so far, So I just want you to expatiate on what should we prepare our minds for as we're thinking of joining. What should we prepare? So far you've said you don't have to come as a novice, at least know the basics. Okay. So what else do you think we should prepare for before we come, so we don't we're not taking unawares? That's my
Okay.
question. Thank you.
That's literally a very, very important question, because trust me, you don't want a situation where you come on board and you are lost, right? Now,
Yes.
the very first thing you've rightly stated, you're not coming in as a complete novice. That's the most important aspect, right?
Yeah.
Foundational knowledge is important, which you have, right? Now,
Yeah.
foundational knowledge could come in different forms. It could be that you have a certification. It could be that maybe you're doing self-learning. There are people that like learning on their own, maybe with YouTube, or they are taking all these courses that is self-paced. That is still
Yeah.
that's still no- that's still something, right? It could be that you went through a boot camp, maybe even 6 weeks, 3 weeks, but you have that understanding on a very fundamental level, right? So that when you come in and we're now exposing you to some of these projects, you are still going to learn in the program. Obviously, you are learning, but we're not taking you from the roots. We're not taking you as if you've never done, like, you've never even done anything before in PM. No.
Yeah.
But because you have that basic understanding of concepts, you have that basic understanding of some tool sets, to be easy for you to progress with other people. Okay, so a major thing you might need to really put into consideration is your skill set, your tool set. Okay, like now for the PM tools, your Asana, if you use Asana or Trello, either of them, which of them, just brush up on it before you come to the program, right? You can brush up on it. We have between now and the 10th of May. Is it April or May? We're looking at the April course, May course rather. So between now and when the course starts, you can just brush up what you know already, right? In terms of tool sets. Now, let me show you guys something. We have a Learn platform for those of you that want to brush up on your skill sets. So if you enroll for the program, you're going to have access to this platform, right? Diary. Okay. You're going to have access to this. Now, this Learn is where you can get to refresh your memory in different skill sets. So let's say you need a crash course in, okay, let's pick PM. Let's pick PM. You want to go over your tool set or your skill set. Okay, this has not yet been updated. But for other, let's look at business analysis. There's a thin line between BA. This is not also updated yet. Let's look at data analytics. Okay, I know that sometimes you might need to use, you should be able to use maybe Power BI to an extent, or Tableau, depending. It's not mandatory, but this is a platform for some people that want to go over their tool sets. Or you can even use YouTube and kind of refresh your memory so that you just understand the basics once again. When you come on board, you will not have any issues. You won't be feeling left behind, right? So that's one thing I might say you need to really look at again, right? So for you that you're actively still learning with ChatGPT and the rest of that, is good. You're keeping up to date with your skills. You've not abandoned it. Okay. So if you're enrolling for this program now, it's going to be easier for you to apply what you know already to solving these business problems and challenges. Does that make sense? Where this is not.
Yes, it does.
Yes. All right. So that is literally it. That's the most aspect of it that you need to have knowledge on. And at least one PM tool, you should know how to use it. Now, the thing about this stuff is that this thing in tech that you people need to understand, your fundamentals is important, right? There are some people that you go and learn a tool without understanding the fundamental of that tool. You should be able to understand why you are even using the tool in the first place. What is the essence of that tool, right? So now, if you understand why, let's say for data analyst, you understand why should I say presentation tool is important? Is it presentation? Or let's use PM, for example, collaboration tool, the Asana that you're using to manage other people and the rest of that. Why is it important? Once you understand that, if we introduce another technology that functions in the same capacity, it will be easier for you to apply your understanding to the new technology. I don't know if you understand what I am saying. Fundamentals is very, very important. So I feel like if you can nail the backgrounds and the basics, it is easy to build up from there. Okay, so just know one or two. It will now be easier to learn more from there because you even understand why you're using these tools in the first place. You understand why you need a tool for analysis if you're a data analyst. You understand why you need a tool for building models if you are a data scientist. You understand how to use these different tools. You've used one before. It's just like someone using Excel and another person using something like Office Sheets, Microsoft Sheets. Yes, it may not be the same work environment, but it's doing the same thing, right? So if you used Excel before, it will be easier for you to use MS Sheet. That's literally it. Both are for analysis at the end of the day. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
that's
it's
what you
just
need.
going to be like just join the class and then we roll. There's no
Yes.
foundations, no scratching of, oh, a 1 + 1 is 2. Hope you remember 2 + 2 is 4. We just move
Well,
like
well,
we know already.
we
You
do
know,
not.
or at least you have the basics, so you can pick from there.
Yes. Now,
Mm.
the good thing about this stuff is that your interns, sorry, your team leads would do you the honors of actually scratching those basics if they want to.
Okay.
But the reason that we tell you is
Yes, sort of.
the reason we tell you that you need to have this experience, this background experience and knowledge. We don't start preaching that, oh, don't worry, come, you do this, because if we do that, you all of you would come on board and maybe you're coming and you're expecting us to train you from scratch. So in as much as your team lead would actually give you that overview, they would actually do that for you, for some of you that need it. But we are not, I will not come and promote that. So I will not bring on board someone that has never done anything before. I don't want to give any misleading information. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yes. So your team lead, obviously, they would want to start from the big. They would want to actually prepare your mind for what is expected. So they would, give you that review to an extent before starting anything, right? So that's what happens on the inside. But I wouldn't come here and tell you that, oh, don't worry, just come. They would give you everything you need. No, you need that foundation on your own personal level. So that whatever they are doing is just addition to what you know already, right?
It's fine. I think that's all for me.
Hello, Tarinabo. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes, it
How
does.
many days will we do? Okay, Amdari is not yet set up for PM. Experience web page is making it obvious. See that project. Okay, I already explained that we closed the PM because we got like the slots we needed for that particular course closed. We already exhausted it, so we closed it up, and that is just an oversight at the moment because we opened this back recently because we are open to taking more people on board, right? That's the reason we opened it back up. So it has not just it's just an oversight at the moment, which is actually going to be worked on. Okay, so that is literally not a problem. All right, how many days will we be meeting? That depends on you and your team lead, right? So you people will come together and pick a time that is convenient for everybody. And it could be 3 times in a week, it could be twice, it could be 4 times, depending on what you guys come together to pick. All right, so Tarinabo, I don't know if I got that
Yeah.
right. Did I get the
Yeah, you
pronunciation of
did.
the name right? All
Yes, you
right,
did.
so do you have any other questions before we go ahead?
My question is, are you guys sourcing for job first for the best of us, or we're going to have a paid internship, or it's just, oh, you just go through it, then we source for jobs, we get it, you guys guide us on how to go, as in just guide us till we can stand on our own, because some people know it, but they can't face interviews. you know
Okay.
some of us are like that. So what's the plan? Are we just going to do this, have the intern, then we are done, hey, nice meeting you, congratulations, and then we're out? Or are we going to have
No.
like a paid intern for like a month or 6 months, and then at least we know it so we can face the world, without
Okay.
knowing that, okay, what we have done so far is what we're going to face in the real world? So what's the plan?
All right.
Thank
So
you.
we're not paying you guys. Just clarifying that, right? Now I want to show you
No,
this
it's sorry,
platform.
please. It's a learning stage. I mean, after we are done,
Okay.
are we going to be intern to, as in you guys can source us to other organizations to work,
Okay.
knowing
Okay.
that
Yes.
we are
Now,
fresh
okay.
bees.
I understand. I understand
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying. All right. Now, there would be opportunities like that sometimes, but we do not promote it for some certain
Okay.
reasons. You know that
Mm.
we do not want to start setting a tone that maybe people would come in and they'll be like, you guys said you would give us jobs, and they are now
Yeah.
holding us back for that, right? But there will be
Mm.
situations where we have maybe some of our partners that might need one or two people, right? And we
Mm.
would now be able to outsource our interns. We do not, we it's an internal thing, but we do not
Mm.
put it out there that that's what we do. It's
Fine.
just that opportunities like that might actually come in. Now, if we do not have opportunities like that for you guys, we promote you applying for these jobs as soon as your second month application is part of your KPI. You are going to be applying to at least 5 jobs every day. Now we even have a
Mm.
platform for this. This job board is where all the job postings are here, like from different platforms rather. Indeed, Glassdoor, Wellfound, LinkedIn, we have it all here. And also, it's all the jobs here are remote. So if you are more of you're into remote jobs, you would come here to actually check it, and everything is here. So you'd apply to the jobs you need here, right?
Mm.
You just need to search by job title and the city, or you can even leave this city part, this city
Okay.
space open. So the applications is how you would now land interviews, and we prepare you for those interviews. Okay, like recently one
Okay.
of our interns actually landed a job, but he rejected it because it was on site, and he said he does not want to work on site, he wants something remote actually.
Mm.
So him getting that traction already is convincing that okay, and he's not the first intern that actually landed a job with us, right? So it is just telling us that we are doing something right. Okay, so you are applying for these roles, and you would obviously use the revamped CV that would be working on for with you, right? And when you now get these interviews, we prepare you for the interviews. So these are literally things we put in place to help you help yourself. We're not leaving it
Okay.
up to you. We're not saying, okay, we're done with you, go. No, right? We are literally taking you through the whole process together. We are going through the process together. Now, in addition to this, we still have this portfolio builder, right? Where you get to showcase the projects you've worked on. Now you can see that you're not for this project builder, you're not going to this portfolio builder, you don't have to code, you do not have to write any line of code, everything is here, right? So all you need to do is fill out the important information that you need, fill out the required details, update your profile, and all of this would appear the way it is. So the job title, the tools you're conversant with, your years of experience, and your projects that you've worked on if you've worked on projects, right? So you can also share this. You can share it on LinkedIn. You can even copy this link and add it to your CV so that when you apply for a job, they would be able to see what you've worked on already. And now, even you can add and you can upload projects from the Amdari project you're working on, and even external projects if you have projects you've already worked on before. So it's just something you can use to showcase what you've worked on. So imagine having this as evidence in addition to your revamped CV. You now have where to apply. You have a platform to apply. Everything is in one place. So these are the ways we are able to help you. You have your interview prep sessions, and you even have career coaches and team leads to guide you. So it is a guided internship. We're not leaving you, we're not leaving anything you're doing to chance. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right. All right. So are you interested in 3 months or 6 months internship experience?
Can I start with 3, then progress to 6? If it's what I
Yes, you
want.
can.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you can. Yes. So you start with the 3 months internship
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll start with the
So
three.
all right. So all right. So I'm going to share the payment link again if you didn't see that, and I'll show you how to secure your slots because some people used to face. Let me just show this for people that would also be enrolling. So once you click on the link, like let me copy this link and share with you. All right. So do you have a time you would be ready to enroll so that I can take note of it and you don't miss out on this discount? I've shared the link in the chat actually.
You mean me?
Oh yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, so how many hours in the day? Or is it going to be twice a week, or because evenings will be best for me.
All right. So your meetings is just going to be either twice in a week or 3 times, and it's some of these meetings will not even be up to an hour. It depends actually, and it's going to be in the evening, so it will be at a time that is going to be most convenient for you. Now for the
Yeah.
project in itself, you would need to dedicate at least an hour on your personal level, right? So that's literally it, and that 1 hour could be, it could be in the midnight if midnight works for you, or maybe
Yeah.
in the early mornings, depending on what you want, right? But your
Mm,
team meetings is going to be communicated. That one, you guys will come together and pick a convenient time for everybody. Okay?
yeah. It's
Yes.
fine.
So it is flexible. It's actually flexible. Most of our interns are 9 to 5 hours, and also people in school that are still in
Mm,
college or yes. So we are able to make it it's flexible for them in the program.
yeah.
All right, so we have a 3 installment plan for the 3 months, right? So if you can't make a one-off payment, you can use the 2 months in 2 installment plan or three. So most people usually go for the 3 installment plan. So I'm going to click on that. That means you're paying £130 across 3 months. So if you secure today or whenever you secure, it's going to be your next payment will be by the same time the next month. The same thing goes for June, the same thing for that. Then oh, you need to update your details here and make your payments. Then you'd receive an email from Amdari. That email also it's going to redirect you. Once you made that payment, you're going to be redirected to this platform, and what you need to now do is to fill the registration form. This registration form is what's now going to give us your details so that we would know exactly when you're starting. You tell us your first name, last name, the email you use, country of residence, and your current status. Now, this is also very important for us so that we know the current status you are in, right? You could be a career switcher, unemployed, employed, whatever it is. Tell us the career path you're coming in for. That's the PM. Upload your receipts, the name of the account you're using to make payments, and tell us, okay, after receiving your welcome kits, right, you maybe you want us to change your future dates payments to be more flexible. Like let's say if you secure right now, your next payment will be in May 18th, and maybe you don't have it by May 18th and you want to pay on the 20th of May. You can reach out to finance and update them that okay, this is when I can secure my next slot, and would be able to assist you with that. Okay, so there's that opportunity for you to do that. And also you can secure your first slot and test the program and see if it's something worth continuing or not. So that's literally why we are giving you the installments, right? We're not telling you bring all your money because we're not scamming you. We're saying have a taste and see how it is. Tell us the internship plan. Is it 3 or 6 months? That's what I passed, right? So when do you intend to start? May or June? How did you find out about Amdari? Tell us, and who influenced your decision? Then you submit, and we would receive this information on our end. Okay, so that is literally that's as simple as it is. Do you have any other questions for me? The link isn't working. It is working. You can copy it and add it, just copy it to your web browser. That's literally the same link I copied and pasted and it opened. Okay, so just copy it and paste in a new browser. I just tried it again and it's working on my end, so you might want to check that. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Have you tried it again?
I'm working on it.
All right, all right. So just keep me posted while you're doing that. All right. So do we have any other question? Do you have any other questions for me before I proceed to the next person?
No, no, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. So let me know if the link starts working. Okay. You can just tell me in the chat. I'll be looking at the chat. Temi Tope,
Okay.
you can go ahead and ask the
Yeah.
question.
That's okay. All right. So let's say I want to fill what the internship is for, like business analyst too. Like I want to do both hybrid. So is there going to be a financial implication? Like, will I have to pay for both? Like maybe I want to do PM for 3 months, business analyst for 3 months. So
Do you want to do it concurrently at the same time?
let's say 3 months.
You want to start with one and do the
Yeah,
next?
yeah. Finish one. and
Yes,
then-
you can actually. You can do that, and you can either start with one and make payments for the next, or you pay for 6 months. Use the 6 months installments, then
Okay.
you split it into BA and PA. So
Okay.
I would advise you to use that route because it's going to be more. It's going to save you cost than paying for two
Oh.
different programs. Does that make sense?
All right. So like doing
Yes.
it concurrently, doing it together.
No.
Okay. Okay.
No, it's like, okay, let me, it's like you're using the, when you click on the link, right?
Mm.
Your
Mm.
payments, you're making payments with the 6 months,
Months, yeah.
6 months PM,
Mhm.
right? Then you would now reach out, would help you, would guide you through the whole process, right? You just need to reach out to finance that, okay,
Okay.
you want to start with one and continue with the other. You're registering for two programs, right?
Oh, all right.
Yes. So
Alright.
you are using the 6 months payment link. That's what
both.
I'm trying to say. Yes.
Oh, okay.
To pay for the two programs. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. All right. So have you filled the attendance? So we'll be able to reach out to you in case you face any challenges while you're trying to do that.
I'm going to look for that one.
Sorry?
I will look for the link now. I'm sure. Thank you.
Let me share the attendance, which is very important, so that we would be able to reach out to you. All right. So aside that, do we have any other? I've shared the attendance. Please fill the attendance. Oh, sorry, that's not the attendance I shared. Do we have any other questions before we? Well, at the end of this session already, it's extended longer than we should have. So, do you have any questions for me? I see Joanna. Joanna, I think you're already enrolled. I'm not sure. Your name sounds familiar. We have Michael Francis. We have John, Jane, Ifoma. You guys have, okay. Joanna is enrolled. I knew it. I know my people when I see them. All right. Okay.
Hello.
So, okay. Hi, Sonto. Sonto.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wrote for the June section, but I got an email saying I can move it to May. I've replied the
Yeah.
email, but no one is going back to me yet. So I just wanted to know if I'm on the May or I'm on the June.
All right. So would you want to start in May?
Yeah. It's got my sign in May.
Yeah. Then you go ahead. You can start in May. We moved it forward because a lot of people requested that. Oh, we can't wait until June. We want to start in May, so we moved it a bit forward. So you could start in May.
Okay. So, but am I on the list for the May set?
When it is towards the time of your onboarding, you're going to receive all the onboarding details, right?
Okay. All right.
So
Henrietta, do you have a question?
Any other questions? Sorry, someone speaking.
No, your network went off for
Okay.
a while, so I thought Henrietta wanted
All
to
right.
ask a question.
Okay, who wanted to ask a question?
No, I'm okay. I've gotten all I wanted.
All right.
Thank you.
Has the link opened on your end? I want to be sure
It
about that.
hasn't. It hasn't.
Wow, that is serious. Okay. Fill the attendance form. We'll reach out to you.
Okay.
Please fill the attendance form, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So at this point, in the absence of any other question, if I get an interview, maybe after my first month of internship, will Andari help? Yes, we are going to help you. Yes. It is part of what you're enrolling for. So we don't have any other choice but to help you. We're going to help you to prepare for the interview. It's part of what you're making payments and registering for. Okay? Yes. So can you speak, Joanna? Are you at where you can speak?
Hi, Victory. Yes, I can speak.
Okay. All right. Okay. So are you enrolling?
I'm already enrolled.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's great. That's great. All right. Do you have any other questions aside what you asked?
No, that's it. Thanks.
All right. You're welcome. Okay, so we have Osasuna. Osasuna, you can go ahead. Then we'll take Dabiri, and I think from there we can call it a day. Any other person, you can fill the attendance form. We would reach out to you directly. Okay? All right. So Osasuna, you can go ahead and ask
Hello?
your question. Yes, I can hear you.
I joined the call late, but with what I've been hearing, I want to ask for somebody that has BSc and does not have any job experience related to our discipline. Can such person enroll? And with this, can I get employment after this?
BSc in what? Sorry.
I had a BSc in transport technology and infrastructure.
And you are interested in which program?
Project management.
Okay. Have you taken any training in PM before?
No, no,
Okay, you would have to get training first. Have you gone through a boot camp, or maybe you've tried learning PM by yourself?
no.
So you start from there. That's where you're going to start from. You are going to enroll for a training. Okay, I'm going to refer you to our business partner, Analytics.
Okay,
Let me put that in the chat. So you go and check them out. You get training, and you can always, there's a part for you to come after you're done with your training. You still come back to Andari for internship, because we are not training you from scratch. Yeah. Sorry, that's the wrong link. Let me give you the correct link. Please use the second link I just shared, not the first. Don't use the .com. The .com is wrong. Use the second one I just shared. If you click on it, you are going to go straight to their platform, and you can reach out to support and book a session. They will talk to you. Okay?
okay. The one you just shared now.
Yes, the one I just shared now. Yes. All right. Do you have any other questions?
No, that's all for now.
All right. All right. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so finally we are taking Dabire Israel. You can go ahead and ask you. Okay. Osasona, do you have any other question?
No, 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 no.
All right. Please, okay. Please help us meet tonight. Thank you. Thanks for asking your question. Okay, Dabire, you can go ahead. I think you're the last person we'll be taking as we're wrapping up this session. Please go ahead and ask your question before we call it in. Dabire, your hand is raised.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, okay. My name is Dabere Israel. I have an MSc in project management, but I will also want a real life experience. Um, I've not worked as a project manager anywhere before. I'm interested to join the training. I will be opting for business analysis for 3 months and project management 3 months. So that's why I really identify with the one of the persons that asked question related to this. Now, my own question is this: during the training or before the training, there are some of the tools that you mentioned here as a project manager, which I have not been privy to. Would there be um, a kind of training or refreshment course where we'll be allowed to use some of those tools so that when we really go into the training proper, it will be easier to handle? You may have talked about this before, but maybe I wasn't listening. Thank you.
Okay, so what level could you gauge yourself in? I know that you have an MSc, fine. You've not worked on actual projects before, that's okay. But in terms of your foundational knowledge of PM, where would you put yourself in? How many tools do you know how to use at the moment? What tools are you familiar with?
Okay. You know how the UK education system works here, and some of the tools I'm privy to. When you mentioned it, and I've also gone to your site, you did not talk about them. In fact, at the point I had wanted to do a one-on-one, um, have a one-on-one discussion with you, so I will talk about them. But then my major problem is that I actually want to go for Prince 2 later, but I intend going through your course first before I will opt for it.
All right.
So I'm actually in
Okay.
a little noisy environment, but then I believe I can communicate.
All right. All right. So you want to have a one-on-one course, right? So that we'll talk deeper about it.
Sure, yeah.
All right. So I'm going to share a link to our one-on-one call because we don't want to extend the conversation. It seems like we have more to talk about. Okay. So let
No,
me.
no, I'm actually on transit, so I'm struggling to hear you very well.
Oh,
That's the problem.
all right. All right. I'm going to share the one-on-one link in the chat. Wait. So I don't know. Uche, if you're here, you please help me with that. Help me share the clarity link. Thank you. Thank you. So she's going to share clarity link. And for those of you that want to have like a one-on-one session, right? You have questions to ask and you can't ask them here. You want to have a comprehensive session with us. You can use that link to book a session, okay? So we may not be able to take everybody's question right now, and we've gotten to the end of this call. All right, so just wait on the link. She's going to share that link with you guys soon. I think I have it. All right. So
Okay.
the link is in the chat. Use the link that was just shared now and book a call with us. All right, so Klaus is going to be the last person before we call it a night. Klaus, you can ask your question. All right, Dabire, use the link and book our call. So
Oh,
we'll
thank you.
continue. Yeah, sure. Okay, Klaus, do you have a question? Do you have something to say? Do you have any questions to ask? Okay, Klaus, you have your hand is raised. You're not saying anything. You're still muted if you're speaking. All right, I'm not sure Klaus is hearing me. Hello, Klaus. No, please. Okay, it's a mistake. All right. All right. At this point, I just want to thank you guys for taking out time to join us in this session. I hope it was a very enlightening one for you. If you have, I hope all of you filled the attendance form. And if you have, and you want to book a clarity for a one-on-one session with us, the link is in the chat, right? You can use that to book the session. If you want to enroll, the link, the payment link is also in the chat. Maybe you want to speak to someone before making your enrollment. You can also fill out the form and do that, right? And the attendance form is so that we can keep in touch with you. Okay, so thank you for taking out time to join us. Okay, Dabire, do you have something to say?
No, I'm fine.
All right, all right. So in the absence of any other question, we would call it a day, we call it a night or an afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. And for Christians, happy Easter, Easter Friday rather, and have a great one, have a great day, have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye, guys.